And welcome to the Casual Nerdcast. I'm your host, Justin, and joining us is Andrew,
Hello.
Emil,
Look, my degree's in the background. There.
and Evan.
Look, I have a whiteboard.
I like it.
I have a white door, just like Andrew.
Fuck your
I've
white
got
door.
moisturizer. I've got body
Oh, wow.
lotion.
What is that?
I got
Oh.
Harry Potter.
This is not one you don't want to show the internet moisturizer in your bedroom.
His skin gets dry in his room. What's wrong with that?
I put it on my face.
After or before?
When I wake up in the morning.
Whatever helps you.
All right. All right, guys. So,
Makes my face dry.
Whatever helps you get off at night.
all right. So
Sorry.
let's. No worries.
Just ignore us.
Okay, let's get things rolling. So this week, some very unfortunate news happened. Robin Williams was found dead at his, I believe, his household or apartment. I think it was his. I'm not sure where he was found dead. I just know he fortunately committed suicide due to asphyxiation. And I don't know about you guys, but Robin Williams was definitely an actor who had a special place in my heart. He had what were your some favorite moments with Robin Williams? Like, what were some of your favorite movies?
Good Will Hunting.
Yes.
That's kind of it.
Yeah.
Jumanji and Mrs. Doubtfire and Aladdin,
Okay,
of course.
I Jumanji too.
Aladdin,
Yeah.
of course. Aladdin the best.
Oh,
Those
Aladdin.
are actually the three, just because I watched those as a kid, and those are, Jumanji, Doubtfire, and Aladdin are the ones that especially Aladdin, I just equate that character, Genie, that zany, fun-loving character with Robin Williams, and I reflected on it for a good hour or two. It's a very sobering, sad moment for me, but
Yeah.
for a lot of people.
Yeah. Actually, a lot of people bring up those movies, but what I remember him mostly from is Dead Poet Society and
That as well.
and Good Will Hunting. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
So-
got a lot of good movies. It's just, it really depends on
Yeah.
what you watched as a
And
kid.
yeah, I guess it really does. But it turns out that that he actually, his fans obviously know this better than his not fans. But it started surfacing that he's actually a really big gamer. So as a tribute, there was World of Warcraft. He has played a lot of World of Warcraft actually, and
His daughter is named Zelda. What
so
does that tell you?
that's that he likes Legend of Zelda. It doesn't tell me anything about World of Warcraft.
This
no,
isn't
no.
There's
Literally game.
It does. Well, yeah. They're actually making an NPC in his name, which is kind of cool. And also there's a petition now for Legend of Zelda now for an NPC of some kind for Robin Williams.
I had a premature ejaculation of words. Those were supposed to come out now. Look,
You
his
were-
daughter's named Zelda. Therefore,
Yes.
this makes sense.
There was actually a
I was
really
getting-
cool
I was getting
Nintendo
excited.
commercial. If you guys look up Nintendo Robin Williams, there's a pretty cool commercial where
Yeah.
it's pretty sweet.
He's
Yeah.
got an epic beard in that commercial.
Yeah.
Just as a cool thing too, he wasn't only just a big gamer. He was basically into the whole nerd culture,
Right.
everything.
Yeah.
I remember he had an Ask Me Anything on Reddit not too long ago.
Oh yeah.
And he answered a lot of questions about anime, comic books. He asked somebody asked him, "What are your top 10 animes?" And he totally listed
Yeah.
10 really awesome, pretty obscure animes. She's like, "Holy shit! Yeah, you really like this shit."
He was a super down to earth dude. Yeah. In that anime, it was quite nice.
Yeah. So I wanted to just take time in the front of the podcast to kind of pay our respects to Robin Williams, and we wish the best to his family.
Mhm.
Are you tearing up there, Emil?
What? No.
I heard a huge sniff, and you're just like,
No, I'm
Think it-
sick.
oh, you poor thing. Dedication to the podcast.
No, I watched 2 of his movies, Aladdin and Good Will Hunting.
All right, so let's move on. Apparently, I completely forgot about this, and I feel very guilty. And apparently, Gamescom is a thing. Oops.
To be honest, it's the one that everybody forgets about, and then it's just kind of like, oh look, hey, Gamescom is on this week. That's pretty cool. What's all the cool new games?
Streams?
Like,
What?
That and TGS are kind of like the it's on this weekend.
So let's take like a quick poll. How much did you guys remember Gamescom? Did you guys even watch Gamescom? Did you read anything about it, etc.?
You reminded me of it.
Nice. I was literally going through my news feed and I'm just like, oh, Kotaku shared an article regarding Gamescom. They're releasing new stuff. What? And then I'm just like, oh god, I'm so screwed for the podcast. What about you, Andrew and Evan?
I ended up watching. I'm a big PlayStation. I'm looked into that's kind of my gaming ecosystem. So I watched the Sony conference, and I read most of the news about everything else. But it's been crazy this year. It's a lot.
Yeah, Gamescom was really better than any other year that I can remember. I mean, I didn't watch any of it, but just from the announcements, holy shit, everybody was kind of holding their announcements for this.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was interesting to see the new Xbox One bundles. They had the white Sunset Overdrive bundle. Then they had
that game was so good.
Then they have the Advanced Warfare Call of Duty with the 1 terabyte hard drive without the Kinect, which is interesting. Then they also the first and most rage filled article was the rise of the.
Point out something before you go on. I love how all of their advertisements for the 1 terabyte system are like first console with 1 terabyte of space or whatever. Right? I'm literally sitting here. I'm like, I have 3-4 terabyte hard drives in my computer. Why is this taking so long? You guys get a decent amount of space. I'm sorry. Just need to throw it out there.
PC Master Race. That better be over the video right now, Justin. Please continue.
Anyway, so when Xbox showed Rise of the Tomb Raider, which is the sequel to the prequel of Tomb Raider,
The reboot, rather.
The reboot, sure, that's a better word for it. It said, coming holiday 2015 exclusively on Xbox. Everyone was absolutely mad. But turns out it's a miswording. It's exclusively on the Xbox. What they mean by that is exclusively coming to Xbox on the 2015. And it's actually just a timed exclusive, and I don't know when the PlayStation version is coming out. Hopefully even a PC version. But that's going to come out probably, I'd say, a year after. So
right.
That was
timed exclusive.
Yeah, a lot of the language that they pointed to was people pointed to is, they said it's exclusive for 2015. So a lot of people are speculating that it's only exclusive to the 16th. And now Phil Spencer
said it.
Yeah, he confirmed that it's that they have it for 2015. So I guess it's a timed exclusive.
Which is really lame still, but better than not getting it at all.
But I mean, is this now are publishers just unable to lock down deals with certain companies that now instead of getting actual exclusives for the consoles, the best they can do now is timed exclusives?
I think this might have something to do with Microsoft having a lot of
money hat. Money
right
hat.
But that's what I'm saying though. It's like yes, they are giving them money to delay it, but delay the production for say the other platforms, but is this the best that they can do now in order to produce something exclusive for their console?
Well, it's third party, it's not first party, right?
Right,
first party content is still exclusive, and it's going to be exclusive.
Right, but it's like Titanfall, for instance. Like Vince Zampelli already came out and said that if they were to make a Titanfall 2, it's definitely coming to the PS4. Right.
Okay.
So it's gone to a point now that I feel like publishers aren't able to lock down deals with developers to 343 for instance, or like Naughty Dog. Like those guys are dedicated to the end, working for Microsoft and Sony respectively.
Yeah.
I find that these developers, their first party developers, are now getting less and less, and it seems like there's a good chance that now there's not much of a fair argument to say own a next gen console. I don't know. That's what I take out of seeing this timed exclusive thing.
Right. I wasn't quite sure where you were going with this.
Yeah, that's where I'm going with it. Like, what do you?
Up until up until now, it was always you get this console for this game, and because there's no other way of getting it. That is what's locking you into their ecosystem. Now you're seeing the lines are being a bit more blurred, basically.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of the games nowadays. Actually, here's another. Like, I'll show you guys another example. Like, recently, well, this isn't really necessarily a good example, but I mean, it gave me a big boner when I saw this. Metal Gear Solid 5 is now on PC. Like, wow.
Yeah, Emma, you must be going crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
You don't even know, man.
That is fantastic.
Before we shift over to Metal Gear Solid 5, one thing I also just want to point out is this might be the other way around, because if we all remember, Tomb Raider was considered a financial failure.
Yep.
Right? So I would not be surprised if this is
when they sold 2 million copies.
Yeah.
They sold 2 million copies, and Square Enix said that this is a failure.
Yeah, we didn't make our money back or whatever. I don't know, whatever.
I feel
$100 million plus game.
So this might also be Square Enix trying to make, that much more money off of this, right? It might just be an excuse for them to get X amount of dollars from Microsoft, right?
Oh yeah, I read about that earlier today in this discussion thread, because if they're limiting just to one platform, they're going to make much less overall game sales.
Yeah.
Because not everyone owns an Xbox One.
And who knows? Maybe these companies are trying to find a good mix of. Because right now, also something Sony announced at Gamescom, they've sold 10 million PS4s.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
Crazy.
So
2-to-1 ratio.
let's assume that there's maybe about well, everybody owns a PS4 now. Is pretty dedicated. So 40-50% adoption rate on a game. Right. Game comes out, 40-50% people pick it up fairly early. So the 5 million sales, that's going to be a lot of money that Microsoft's just flat out handing to Sony, right? To get an exclusive, right? So to Square Enix.
Yeah, not Sony.
Yeah, not Sony, to Square Enix. So I think it's just Microsoft may not be able to afford, a money hat big enough to fully exclusive a game.
Oh, so instead it's just a timed exclusive to say, here, have some money. And
come out on our stores.
Yeah,
maybe some people will buy our system for it, but
because keep in mind the PS4 also has like a 3-to-1 lead in comparison to the Xbox One sold.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
I don't know what the updated numbers are. That's the thing, because they they haven't released
I
any.
don't think it's 3-to-1. I think
Not anymore. That's like 3-to-1 pre-orders, I think. When it first
okay, that's it's probably updated new stuff.
Last time I checked, the Xbox One sold like 5 million copies.
Yeah.
And that was around when the PS4 had sold like 7-8 million.
Okay.
So the Xbox One is definitely trailing, like no doubt about it, but it's nowhere near 3-to-1.
Okay, so that was old data. Either way,
I would say at best it's probably like 2-to-1 for sure.
Right.
That's if Microsoft has not sold a single console between like 4 months ago and now.
Yeah, I'd say I would have to say like at least like worst case scenario 2-to-1. 3-to-1's a bit of that. But yeah, like how do you
doesn't change though.
How do you guys feel about this timed exclusive thing? Because I feel like do you guys remember No Man's Sky? Like the way they presented it was like, oh, it's coming to the PS4, and then all of a sudden they clarified it's also coming to PC, by the way. So it's like
just putting it out.
I also feel like the words console exclusive are very underused, and they should be used more often.
I feel like exclusive should just be used a little more carefully.
Yeah.
That's the problem I have. To be honest, I don't really care about timed exclusives.
Yeah, I know.
Because there's so many good things to play that I will be able to, or I could go outside and I will be able to kill time until that timed exclusive runs out.
Hey, that's not the kind of talk we like to hear on the show, okay? We sit and play video games.
What you mean is you're gonna play 10 more games while you wait for this one good one to come out. There we go.
There you go.
Like last week we talked a little bit about like false advertising and sort of tricking the consumer. Like all this language about exclusive it's
the same
bullshit.
thing. Yeah.
It's like I would like it if when they use the word exclusive, it just meant it's not coming out anywhere else. But now I understand from a business point why, but like it that hurts me. 1080p does.
So if somebody sued Microsoft for $5 million,
I wouldn't.
Be okay with that?
No, probably. Actually, quick 10-second aside. I was like up at night thinking about the Killzone thing from last week, because like a part of me is like they're kind of like like this, it was bothering me. So I think I've turned around on that. It's still, like my head and my heart, great band by the way, are like still in conflict. But anyways, like,
Yeah, okay.
I would prefer it if companies would stop
Lying.
sort of
Yeah.
twisting their words or being like, oh, we're exclusive for the console in 2015 for the second Tuesday of the full moon. Like,
Yeah.
say it.
How about just be
And
like
move
coming to Xbox first?
Yeah. Yeah.
Here you go, Phil
rather
Spencer.
Yeah.
Rather than
Say
misleading
free
information.
PR advice.
Yeah,
Hey, Justin, any publicity is good publicity, man.
that's true.
I don't know about this case. Everyone's still pretty pissed on Microsoft, to be honest.
And
Yeah, well,
that's our name in the news.
If anybody announces an exclusive Microsoft game, people are going to be a little bit pissed. Like, oh, fuck, I didn't buy an Xbox One. I don't.
It's like, oh, fuck, again?
It's just,
I love how like all the third party applications are getting like the exclusive branding, but things like Halo and like Sunset Overdrive and Gears of War,
that's not even true anymore because Amazon a couple weeks ago accidentally leaked a potential Halo Master Chief Collection.
and
PC edition.
I am
Really?
really excited
Yeah.
about that. Like
So
I hope
also
it's
this-
true. I hope
The
it's
reason
true.
Why this isn't that crazy is that this would not be the first time that Halo came to PC, right? Halo 1 and 2
True,
both came
true,
to PC.
true.
The fact
three
that
didn't.
Xbox is owned by Microsoft and they have a huge PC arm, it has always made it.
No, they want us.
Like,
They want us to buy an Xbox. If they did
And
it, like
Gears
they
of War came to PC. Gears of War 1.
did it.
That's why
I actually
that's why-
own the PC version of that game. Don't
Wait,
play the
actually?
PC version of that game.
I never knew that.
Well, okay,
God
yeah,
damn.
that was
Halo-
quite-
Halo 1 was well received on the PC. Halo 2 not so much.
Why is that?
I don't remember.
Shitty port?
Probably. But at the end of the day, like if the Master Chief Collection ever comes on PC, there's like you're only paying $400 or $500 for Halo 5. Well,
don't-
no, okay,
Oh,
no,
no.
hey, before I go on,
Yeah.
me. Sorry, I meant to say I'm only spending $400 or $500 for Halo 5. Everything else, I'm not really excited about.
See, this is one thing that actually worries me about consoles in general because I mean after E3, I was pretty much sold on an Xbox One, right? Like I was kind of like, all right, it's just a matter of time. Like before that, I wasn't gonna buy one. Like Sunset Overdrive, I really wanted, but
So good.
and but I'm not willing to spend $400 for Sunset Overdrive. But then they announced like, oh, Halo 5 Master Chief Collection, and then there's like Quantum Break or whatever, which I don't really care about, but it's like, yeah,
Wow, that was cool too.
it's
That's
just like
cool.
icing on the cake, right? But now it's just like, oh, so Master Chief Collection's coming to PC. All right, one less reason to get an Xbox One. Like they're giving me, they're literally giving me reasons not to buy their system.
Phantom
Which is
Pain's
not
coming
good.
to the PC.
If Phantom
Okay.
Pain's coming to the PC, does that mean Ground Zeroes is also coming to the PC? 'Cause-
Yes.
It is.
Thank you.
It-
Thank you.
Both of
What doesn't make sense without the other?
both of them are already on my wish list for Steam.
I would not. I'm actually incredibly interested to see how this game does, because Konami really doesn't. As far as I know, they don't really have any experience bringing PC games other than
Yeah,
the
not at
Lords
all.
of Shadow series.
I think it's now I think the fact that these things are now starting to appear on PC is very big evidence that the x86 architecture of next gen is just easy to deal with and easier
Yeah.
to convert
Which-
to
I was gonna
PC.
It
say.
makes me really interested in how this game is going to run and how it's going to play. Because if it plays and runs well, then this makes me incredibly excited for owning a PC.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, then it's going to be like, all right, so this is just literally like the beginning of last gen where everybody's trying to port their old crap and it doesn't work.
Curious. Was Metal Gear Rising published by Konami? It wasn't, was it? Because it was made by Platinum and it was fucking amazing.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it was published.
It says
by
it says publisher Konami.
Was.
yeah, but the developers.
Yeah, developer was
the
the
one
thing.
that
So I
does
mean,
the
there's at
stuff
least a
there.
little bit of promise there.
Yeah.
I mean, Revengeance was fucking amazing. At least I think so. I have a bit.
Yeah, that game was sick. I love
You
it.
are Platinum.
I'm buying a Wii U. 50% of it for Bayonetta 2. That game looks so good.
Yeah. And that's
Hey,
one
Platinum.
thing that-
So yeah, what do you guys think about like the current state of our current generation? What do you think it's the I honestly, after seeing all of this unfold, I think there will not be a next gen.
Can't
It-
talk. Too busy adding Metal Gear to wishlist.
So
Okay, done.
Like it's
I think there definitely will be a next gen, but I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to say.
now it seems like the solution is already here. Game streaming, or you have it on your PC. Like it's, I don't know.
The problem is that not everybody wants to build a PC. But the reason why I don't necessarily agree with that as well is because I've built a lot of PCs in the past year for people who were pretty much console gamers.
I as well. Like a lot of people were coming the next on the pending of this next gen. A lot of people were asking me, what should I put in my PC? I want to build a PC. Can I get some advice from you? Like it was like a lot of people actually after watching E3 were like, I'm getting a PC. Screw it.
Yeah. Dude, don't you remember our resounding... It was like our first or second podcast. So, what console are you guys most interested in? PS4. Are you going to get it? Probably not.
Basically.
Well, I think if any system has a chance of getting PC gamers to play it, it's the PS4 because of the amount of flat out exclusives that it has, right? I mean, it's got PS4 has Sony in general. I mean, I guess they're not exclusives because the Vita, the PS4 could sometimes have the same game. The number of franchises that Sony has a lockdown on made me buy my PS4, right? Because I know that I'm probably going to get a solid 20 games out of my PS4.
I'm gonna step in and say that, what Donovan McMatrick was advertising really heavily actually is his Xbox One saving grace now, in my opinion. A lot of people who own things on the PC don't really need a second PC, I guess you can call it, if you want to call that the PS4. They need, if they could potentially want like something like a multimedia solution, because that's something that comes all in one. It helps you all centralize and all that stuff. And granted, the multimedia isn't completely unfolded yet. It's still mostly in production. But it's like a PS4, its maximum capability can be handled by a PC, whereas I haven't found any third-party application that can actually do voice commands for my PC that can help me, search for TV channels, switch between TV channels, and kind of handle all of my. I don't know if there is one. If there is, please link me, and I will not buy an Xbox One. But
okay, I don't
like that's my argument is that the PS4's maximum capability, for the most part, if you're using Steam hypothetically, can be handled by a PC.
Are you? Is that like the end all be all media system for you? One that you can control with your voice?
Well, because my issue being is I have a big issue with wireless devices running out of batteries and such. So the Xbox One looks enticing.
Xbox.
I don't know So for me, I don't know. For me, the thing that I would like is I want I want to build a just media PC, right? Like I do not want an Xbox One running my media. I want a media. Yeah, just like an HD PC that runs from my phone, right? Like just my phone is the control for everything, right? That would be my like, oh my god, if somebody like I already kind of know how to do that, like MacGyver
like you hook
together
that up
like
to your stereo system and your TV, not like to a monitor, pretty much.
But I mean, you can kind of do it with smart glass though.
Yeah, but the only way that I think that would be sold is that I would be interested in something like that because they are Microsoft, so they totally could do this. But if Microsoft somehow sets up a streaming service from Windows to Xbox One, so you pick a monitor and it streams everything from that monitor to your Xbox One and you play it.
Can you imagine
that would be cool.
If like AMD's been working on this game stream thing? Like because like think of it like this. AMD is in every single next gen or current gen console. Sorry,
Shit,
if they manage to pull that off,
yeah,
AMD, I'm giving you free. I don't even like you guys, and I'm giving you free ideas.
Hey man, they did nothing wrong. They just like.
But yeah, like I understand what you're saying, and if they use that as leverage to compete against GameStream, because GameStream is only towards like tablets. Yes, NVIDIA Shield.
And that's the other thing about an HTPC that I like is that I get to choose everything, right? Like, I'm not limited to how much space it's in it. If I want it to be faster, I'll just throw in an SSD. I'll throw in more RAM. I'll make it whatever size I want, even, right? Like, it's just, I don't know. To me, buying any sort of pre-made box for my media is really painful.
Fair
Here,
enough.
Again,
Fair
once
enough.
again, Justin, this is where you put the title PC Master Race over Evan's head.
Mer,
my
mer,
turn.
mer. Okay.
I completely agree with you, by the way, Evan. Like,
Yeah, it's
100%.
for
I would
sure.
absolutely
It's
love
just
to do something like that.
if,
Fuck
like I said,
restrictions.
like if
Seriously, man.
what's like I said, like if there was a third party application that can take the Connect, like I will just buy the Connect, and if there was an SDK I could just run and just execute some scripts that'll do all the voice commands and stuff. Like I'm not buying an Xbox One. Like it's
Yeah, we'll
But
get there.
Sunset Overdrive looks so good. Oh,
Wait for the
Yeah,
emulator.
and-
Okay.
Literally, that's the only game that's keeping an Xbox One on my list of buying. But I'm also kind of half expecting them to be like, "Yeah, it's on PC the year after." Like, I'm really on. Like at this point, I don't know.
maybe. Insomniac doesn't do PC games really. Maybe Fuse came out on PC. Is that it?
I don't know. I don't know if anything. But I mean, like, Konami didn't really do PC games.
That's true.
And
Like,
now
They're brilliant there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Great coders. But to talk, like I think there's like consoles are still going to be around just because, like the reason PS4 has sold 10 million copies is because there are 10 million people who want a PS4, obviously.
Yeah.
But are all 10 million of those people like I don't really like using the term, but like hardcore gamers really like how many of those people are like I just want the new Call of Duty game, the new
Probably a bunch.
NBA game, and 1 or 2 games a year? Like
Mhm.
I think that they want a box that does all their like heavy, like the most technical you have to get is sometimes they'll have like a firmware patch, and they're like, I don't know what this is, but I just hit the A button, and then 20 minutes later I can play again.
Mhm. And I think I don't know. I wonder how many of those 10 million are people in my situation where I'm literally buying it for the exclusives and nothing else.
Yeah.
That's what I wonder. Right? And
I'd say a pretty hefty percentage, to be quite honest.
and basing even so basing on I spent 3 years working at EB Games. There was only one person at EB who over that 3 years has not converted to some sort of gaming PC, right? There was only one person. Everybody else had switched over to whether it's a really powerful PC or not, it doesn't matter, because you can easily upgrade that with a couple dollars, right? But just owning owning a bare bones PC is the start, right? After that, you can upgrade your PC maybe every 2 years for $300 and you'll be fine, right? And most of the people I worked with at least had something, right? Or were on their way to getting it. There was only one person that I can think of who didn't have a PC at all. Well, he had like a laptop, but it was a piece of shit, and I told him to replace it, but he never.
Get on with the story.
Yeah, what Andrew said.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, so based on that number, I think it's that I'm interested to see how many people are in my situation, because I think that most of the people that I worked with would be in my situation, and I think a percentage of people that work at EB is probably a good idea of kind of the hardcore gaming community, right? Especially because they're at a majority. These are people working at a console game store, pretty much.
And these are people who still leave their house to buy a game. I consider that pretty hardcore. I can't leave the house.
No, but that's just because sunlight's bad for you. That's all.
Ah,
Yeah,
two
that's-
people. Never mind.
You're writing these names down.
3 actually.
Are you
Numbers
planning on
are
getting
telling
them PCs for Christmas?
You should, Evan. Just go to like those CyberPower pre-built PCs. They're probably still decent.
Once you're part of the EV Games family, you always part of the EV Games family.
Man,
me. Actually,
it's
now
turning.
I'm thinking of quite a few more
PCs.
people. Oh god. Anyways,
All right, let's move on to that's something a bit more Sony centric that I think was a miscommunication on Sony's end a bit. I don't know. You guys all watched the Sony conference at E3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys can you like okay. So basically, at Gamescom, there were more details regarding the Far Cry 4 the co-op details. Basically, saying how the person who was playing Far Cry 4 and you wanted to have a cooperative friend with you, they didn't need to own the game of the copy of the game.
Oh yeah.
And everyone was freaking out. They're like, "What? How are you doing this? Are you guys wizards?" So details were released. Apparently, there's this thing called the keys to Karat, and you will anybody who picks up the game on PlayStation will receive 10 of these, and each key redeems you only 2 hours.
Really?
What a
You can only use
buzzkill.
each key once?
Yeah, serious.
Yeah, that is
Probably.
a buzzkill.
So, to be fair, what we all thought it was before was a little bit too good to be true.
Now it's just like, but now like why bring it up at E3? It's like
Because it's E3.
right, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's
That's where you tell all of your bold-faced lies.
no.
This is where you say we're exclusive for 2015. On the
Like
full
I was
movie.
watching that and I'm just like, oh man, oh shit, I should have bought a PS4. and then this news comes out. I'm like, I knew it. Sony,
No,
stop.
But like, if you ever expected them to give out their game for, that's pretty much giving their game for free like that.
And to
Like,
No,
follow,
what I was expecting maybe like, I was able to play with somebody, but I didn't progress. I got like shitty weapons or something, and
Yeah.
I had to follow their story or something, right? So we
Yeah,
could play,
right.
but it doesn't count towards anything, right?
Actu-
Which is lame, right? Like I don't want to play a game like that, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't mind trying out a game like that.
the way Sony made it sound was very misleading. I'm kind of butthurt about that. I thought they were releasing some kind of new technology and releasing some new fancy kind of thing. They're just like, "Lol, nope. Here's some serial keys, just like any other game that's out there."
But
So I
here's the
think that-
thing: you don't need to have downloaded the game either for this. I
Still
think,
awesome.
key to Karat. Like, you give the key to someone and they just stream it, I guess.
Yeah,
over the
it's
internet.
that's also that's another can of worms, to be honest. It's basically like kind of how we addressed the last episode regarding PlayStation Now and such. Like it's like how do you are these like in-game hours? Are they real-time hours? Like what if I step out to go to the washroom or something?
Come
Like
back and just nope, time's up.
nope. Like you if it's 2 hours, you better be like sitting there enjoying all those 2 hours, or else you're completely screwed.
That
Like
also makes me wonder, just a bit of an aside, how Origin recently introduced 1 week free of Battlefield 4 time. I don't mean this to turn into a conversation topic. I'm just merely out of curiosity. Is that those 168 hours? Are those time spent in game, or is that once you click play, time
So-
just?
Actually, no. It's just during that time period.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Oh.
because
Yeah.
okay, so as somebody who has been through a metric shit ton of trials for MMOs,
Okay.
that is how this stuff works, right?
Okay,
Like,
so that's all it is. It's just a trial. I thought it was once you click play, you have 7 days to play.
The
game.
only exception to that is Titanfall, which was actually the moment you add this into your games library, you have 48 hours to play it.
which
Right,
okay,
right.
To be fair, that makes sense because 48 hours of any game's game time
Yeah.
Right.
is a lot of time. Like that's
Yeah,
a
that it kinda
shit
is.
ton of time, right? Like
2
I don't
hours is
need-
2 hours is nothing though.
like 2 hours is enough.
But
to
at the
get-
same time, it's free. Like,
yeah.
you're not paying for this. This is something that's free.
But so
I
is
don't-
Battlefield 4 and Titanfall. I mean, like,
Okay, no. But let's think about it like this. So Far Cry is what? Far Cry 3 was what? A 10-15 hour game? 15 hour at the longest. Probably around 10 if you rush through.
I think I played about
Okay. Well,
10.
anyways,
yeah.
average game is 10 hours, right? Average game is around 10 hours right now. I'd say probably a lot shorter. Let's be very
Something like that. When
nice.
they say actual play time, it's around there.
yeah.
if
Let's be really nice and say 10 hours. You are getting 1/5 of the game then, for free,
Kinda.
and well, pretty much, right? Your
I-
friend just used 5 codes on you, and you get to play through the entire game for free, depending on if there's
Well,
not...
yeah, it also depends on what exactly they're showing you. I mean, if it's the same iteration of like you're only restricted to a co-op mission or something, maybe it's not even the single play. Like I guess 2 hours is fair.
This is
In-
a
in
lot better
comparison-
than nothing.
In comparison to something like Battlefield 4 and Titanfall, where they're competitive multiplayers, right? So I can kind of see that.
I don't know.
What?
This is a lot better than nothing. I mean, yes, I'm a little disappointed that it's not Although I honestly was kind of expecting some kind of time limit in terms of, you can only play with your friend like 5 hours in a week or something. I don't know.
Okay.
But
On that topic, I actually have some beef to pick with Sony. Did you guys know about SharePlay?
I
So
I heard about it once or twice.
okay, so SharePlay was kind of brought up at E3 when they first introduced the Sony PlayStation 4 console at February at their exclusive event when they first mentioned it. But they only showed the controller, they didn't show a console. Yeah. So after silence for a long time, they finally brought that back up at Gamescom this year. So let me just read you a quote from this article. According to Sony, SharePlay will allow any PlayStation Plus member to 1. Invite any friend anywhere to take turns playing any of your games with you. 2. Invite another PlayStation Plus member to play together in the same session cooperatively or competitively. What's really special about this is your friends do not need to own or download the game.
Or download.
Similar to that, whatever Far Cry 4 technology is.
Yeah.
So I don't know how how this pans out. Like, I don't know how number 2 works of that clause. That aspect of inviting another person to play competitively or cooperatively, because now this is starting to sound like the keys to Karate are completely useless.
Right.
So what that might mean then is if you buy Far Cry 4, you get 10 keys regardless of being a PS Plus member or not.
Yeah.
Although, don't you have to be a PS Plus member?
You need to be a PlayStation Plus
yeah.
member to play online anyways, don't you?
Yeah.
Right.
Either way, it's I don't know. It's annoying, but
it's strange. Like I would rather do oh, Far Cry 4 is gonna be the first game that's gonna be like trying the SharePlay thing. It's like, okay, that's cool. But no, it's like here, have some keys. Oh, by the way, there's this, and it's just like they're just throwing features all over the place. It's like,
well, Far Cry 4 is coming out this year.
Yes.
Next year. This year.
This year.
Well,
When's SharePlay coming out?
we can check.
Doesn't say.
If I can find it. Oh, it doesn't say? Never mind then.
Because that might just literally be it. Is that Far Cry
There's-
4? This is like their testing period for it, and they're assuming that all 10 keys are going to be used up by the time SharePlay comes out.
Actually, that might not be a good. Yeah, that could be the case.
It's saying firmware software 2.0 is scheduled for this fall. And when is Far Cry 4 supposed to come out?
This fall.
Yeah.
Awkward.
Oh, ha.
Yeah.
At the same time, SharePlay is probably something Sony's been working on for years.
Well,
And this
definitely
keys to
two.
corrupting-
Definitely 2, I think. Or no.
Could be 2 completely different services, and then they both get to the stage and go, "Well, this is awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Working on the
'cause-
same thing. Oh, fuck."
Yeah.
Ubisoft and Sony are not the same. This is just two companies.
Yeah, but I mean, they've signed contracts, right? Ubisoft's always helped them out with
The
exclusives.
thing that's weird about it is the Far Cry thing is Sony exclusive, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it might be that they need that they knew about that technology and they wanted to
Yeah.
talk about it.
But they should have just introduced it as like a SharePlay beta. It's like Far Cry 4 is gonna be the first to try out this SharePlay beta. It seems very incoherent between the two. It's like, what's the point of the keys if I'm going to be able to play with my buddy cooperatively anyway? And also, what's the deal with competitive? It's like, okay, I don't quite understand it because there's either 2 scenarios. A, it runs like local Xbox competitive play, where say for instance I have my gamer tag, and I'm playing online competitively. My buddy is gonna show up as gamertag -guest or whatever such. So anything that he does isn't saved after he leaves. It's all temporarily just to play around and stuff. The issue being is that that's cool. But that feature is only going to be used ever once. If it saves permanently to that person's PlayStation Plus account, then is there ever an incentive for you to play something like Call of Duty, for instance? Because Call of Duty is primarily a multiplayer game, arguably, because it's something it's like say for instance like clan houses, right? They now have to buy half the amount of games that they used to, because now that because of this share play thing, they can just all, just share play each other, and just play Call of Duty and just practice.
I'm sure there's going to be some sort of limit on this.
Yeah,
I honestly, I would not be surprised if their definition of competitive play would be, like free for all four player, like, kind of like LAN parties used to be, right? I would not be surprised if that's what they're talking about. So, like you and 5 or 6 friends can just jump on a random Halo map and play against each other only in a non-ranked scenario.
Oh God, that's another scenario I didn't think about.
And honestly, I would love that. I would absolutely love that, because that brings back that, those like pizza and pop nights that you have with friends.
Okay, that's cool, but
that'd be fantastic.
That's cool. But I think I think it only implies, I don't know if it's like unlimited amount of friends.
No, it's probably not. But I mean, like if you have three friends that own it or something.
But depending on how this is done, like depending on how it's executed, it's either one person buys it and everyone's gonna mooch off of that, or the feature will be only used once and then never again, because they'll be so addicted to the game they'll want to buy their own copy. I don't know, because it's
maybe I think potential things that, like, for example, the first deterrent to that would be your friend would have to be on to play, so you would only be able to play when he's like online, he or she is online. That right there is like the biggest deterrent.
But yeah, it depends. Like if it's a multiplayer game, you generally want to wait for your friends anyway. Right. So, I mean, it depends. It depends on the kind of person you are, but
you have to wait for that one friend though, and you could never do it. I don't know. There's definitely a convenience factor that's taken out.
Yeah,
there.
But it also depends on the kind of person. Because if you're a kind of person that always waits for your friends to play multiplayer online anyways, it doesn't seem that much of a costing factor. And especially the fact that nowadays it seems like, from the games of E3, The Division, Evolved, Rainbow Six, all these games are now starting to take a much heavier multiplayer aspect. I'm interested to see, how this is.
All of them have progression, though.
Yes, all of them do have progression. Oh, I don't know about Evolve. I'm not sure about Evolve.
Well, okay, Evolve. It's probably knowing Valve. It's probably going to have some sort of, overall account progression that doesn't have anything to do with in-game, like hats and shit. But I mean, especially with the Division, right? Like I would not want to play Division with
share play, yeah.
Like if my stuff didn't save, fuck that. No, like I'm not playing that at all.
But and then if it's the exact opposite, where it's just like, it does save.
It's like playing Diablo, but every single time you have to start out at level 1 with no abilities. Oh. Like, what's the point of that?
Yeah, actually, that's compared to any MMO, and you're instantly, or RPG, and you're instantly like, nope, fuck that.
Yeah, my biggest beef with share play is that it seems like the exact opposite of what Xbox was doing with regards to the family sharing, because share play requires that extra person for them to be on, whereas I believe the Xbox one was kind of just do whatever you want with it.
You can only share with one person then, right? Like you basically set up, I forget how many people it was, but you set up people
10
as your
actually.
Family. Okay, either way, you set up 10 people as your family, and then those are the only people you can share games with. Period. Right? And I think that's similar to what Steam's doing.
I am actually doing that exact thing. It is 5 people. You just have to go to their computer to authorize it, and then they will have complete access to your Steam library. The only restriction being if you're playing that game, the other person cannot.
But if you were playing any game, the other person cannot.
Nope. It's as long as the 2 games cannot. I believe so.
That's awesome. I've never tested it, but I've got it too. I just didn't know because I've always never played with someone else.
I'll let Dominic know and try. Like, as far as I'm aware, we were coherently, like, he bought the New Order for me. New Order, and we're family sharing that right now.
Right.
So I'm waiting for him to download and install it, and when he plays it, I'm gonna play something to see the interruption. But I don't think there is.
Okay, that's fantastic. A bit of an aside, of course, but yeah, that's great.
But that's what I'm saying. Is that I find that this share play thing, the only benefit to the single player aspect is if you're pussying out and you can't beat a mission and you want your buddy to take over. That's the example they provided, and I was just like, it's cool, but I
Oh,
mean, I don't want to feel like a cop out. Like
I feel
it's-
like I feel like with how much I mean I think this is the general theme to this episode is game companies lying to us. I feel like with how much of that we've seen over the past year, I really find it hard to judge this because I feel like
Let's
it's
be
all
honest. It's not just game. It's just companies in general.
yeah. So
Like,
just companies.
anytime someone doesn't explicitly say like this thing, I assume the worst.
Exactly, right?
Well,
So I
actually-
feel like until we get more information, we can't. It's so hard to judge this because, I mean, what's as I mentioned before, what's their definition of competitive play? What's their definition of a ton of this stuff, right? Like they're using they're using sadly generic words. Like these words should not be generic, but they are.
Yeah, I think it's just too early to like. We don't really have enough specific information. It's too early to tell what this thing is.
it's like they're feeding us like bad tasting food with good tasting food. It's like
So,
it's like here, Far Cry 4. Bad news, guys. It's
all
not
see
the
that.
co-op you guys wanted it to be, but SharePlay kind of is.
I don't know.
We'll get back to you on that though.
But here's the thing. This is why I don't really have a complaint about this. Is for Far Cry or SharePlay is if I want to play a game, I can still go out and buy the game. Like nothing has really changed.
Right.
They're like trying to add stuff.
Right.
They're not changing stuff that we already have. Like if
Right.
I want to play co-op with Far Cry with you guys, we can all. The worst case scenario, we just all buy the game.
It's
Right.
not like they're saying,
So-
you know, only every even person that walks into a store can buy the game.
Fair enough.
And you have to share with the
Yeah.
other person. Like it's not like they're saying that. It's just kind of
Yeah.
like, oh,
It's just I'm looking at it from like a business perspective, but also at the same time I'm looking at it as like like comparing it to other existing systems out there.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's
That is true.
let's be
That's
honest.
fair.
Let's be honest. We're all gonna buy Far Cry 4, and we're all gonna play it. Like I don't think I'm ever gonna touch one of those codes,
It's got
Ever.
elephants.
right? Like I'm gonna buy it the day it comes out, and I'm gonna play it
Please say
the day it
PC.
comes out. Why do I have to say? Yes, I'm gonna buy it on PC, but why do I have to?
Because if you buy for PS4, I'm gonna be sad.
And we won't be able to play with you.
No, I don't care about playing with you.
Well, we do.
I'm sorry. No.
So
Yeah, I'll
it's
be
good.
buying it on. I'll be buying it on PC. Yes, but I mean, like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Like in my personal opinion, it's like cool new features, but for the most part, they're kind of useless.
Yeah.
That's my angle at it, and I'm just kind of confused why Sony is kind of pushing for something that relies two people to be on. Like, yes, it's cool that you're watching your friend play your mission for you. Yes, it's cool that you get to play cooperatively, and it's cool that the person your best friend gets a demo competitively, whatever that means. Like the cooperative one is the only one that really interests me, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's some sort of restriction to that too. So it's
I guess that's the biggest problem with this is that it could be really awesome, but it also could be something that nobody uses. Like if they make it so that
Blackberry.
yeah, if they make it so that, you know, like I jump on a game of Killzone or something, and then Andrew, you want to jump on and join me, and we can just play Killzone for however long, be in constant chat, that would be great. That would be awesome. I would have no issues with that. If they did, but if they make it something where, you know, you jump on Killzone and you can only play for an hour, and then we can't play again for another week, and we can only play in, you know, a non-online setting, so it's just you versus me. Like that would be, I probably would never touch it, right? So it's
Especially
very
because I beat your ass.
yes, you would, right?
I wouldn't.
But I don't know. Like it's way too vague at this point.
yeah. Like
Right.
it's just I've just been recently getting a bit more concerned for Sony, just because it seems like they are selling the more consoles, but I feel like they're just riding that boat. There's only it's only so long until that boat ends and everyone has their console, and I'm hoping they have new features and cool features like this, because like Sony was saying about how the pre-downloading stuff, and that definitely Xbox was behind on that, and that's something they announced at
I
Gamescom.
think the thing that everybody's forgetting about Sony still, though, is they still have the games, right?
Yeah.
Like regardless of all of this extra stuff that's being announced, I did not buy my PS4 in hope for, you know, PlayStation Share or PlayStation Now, and I did not buy my PS4 for all that. I bought my PS4 because they said, "Hey, Uncharted 4 is going to be on PS4." And I went, "Okay,
Yeah,
And then I
that's
bought
true.
it, and a lot of there's that Uncharted's not the only game. There's tons of
Yeah.
other games, right?
I guess for me, it's just that I need a more buying incentive that's beyond like the capabilities of my PC. That's probably
Yeah, but flat out, I mean, right
Yeah.
now on the PS4, there are 2 good reasons, and I think about 4 decent reasons for you to buy a PS4, right? Like that are like, I mean, right now, Infamous Second Son,
Right.
Killzone Shadowfall
right.
are the 2 reasons that, that these are games that you cannot play without a PS4.
Right.
And then like Knack, which is kind of shitty, but it's out. Right, and then like they announced stuff like Tearaway's coming to it, and that's another thing I want to be. Do we want to say anything else before I move on to another topic, or do we want to?
I that's all I have listed. So
Let's keep it conversational.
yeah,
Before
go for
friends,
it.
talk about
You know what,
games.
Evan? Go for it.
Okay,
If you want to
so-
segue somewhere, go for it.
So one thing that pisses me off a lot about this Gamescom, and a lot about the games that are being announced, I like games getting remade for newer consoles, but why the fuck is that every game that we're
Yeah.
seeing now? Like every other release is like, oh yeah, we're making Final Fantasy X for new systems. Oh yeah, we're making Tearaway. Can nobody think of a good new game? And they're just
Look at
remaking all the
Sleeping
old
Dogs.
games. Yeah, Sleeping Dogs is coming out. Like I don't.
Sleeping Dogs?
already-
That's
Yeah,
only
coming out
been
for the
2
PS4.
years. Like, why do we need an HD remaster of that? Like,
I don't-
Is it the sequel?
No,
Nope,
just
it's because Square Enix, because Tomb Raider Definitive Edition was such a success. Square Enix like, let's just do all of them, I guess.
Yeah, but they've been talking about a sequel for so. Never mind. Continue. I'm just
Either
slightly
way,
disappointed to hear that.
I'm just really annoyed that it seems to be
I agree,
all the game announcements that we seem to be getting recently have been remakes of games that I've already played instead of new
Yep.
games that I haven't played.
the only one that I'm pleasantly surprised about is the Master Chief Collection. Only because that.
But that's a collection. That's a little bit different though, right?
But it-
90 games.
It's still like it's still a remake, but it's probably the best deal of a remake you will ever find anywhere. Period.
But it's also a remake of a game that's old enough to warrant a remake.
Yeah.
Sleeping
Fair
Dogs
enough.
literally came
Fair-
out like
okay.
2 years ago.
Tomb Raider.
It's like,
Okay,
it's
when
like you buying the Command and Conquer Ultimate Collection and being able to play Red Alert 1 on your PC because it was remade for it.
Mhm.
yeah.
And you're also
Yeah,
getting features
okay.
of these old games that are now shut down. Like Halo 2, you can't play online anymore. Halo 1,
Yep.
they're adding online play for Halo 1 in this collection, right?
Nice.
I don't see why they wouldn't.
It's
So,
it
like,
yeah.
there's a lot of stuff that's warranted in this remake, but Tearaway, Sleeping Dogs, why the hell do I need to play those games? I mean, you know what? Sure, for people who haven't played them, that's fantastic. But I feel like Square Enix could just make Sleeping Dogs 2 and that'd be so much better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Square Enix is really cutting down on the creative department after their little financial crisis or whatever they want to call it, and they've thrown too much money on investing, and now they need to just work with what they have. I don't understand what's going on with Square Enix, and I'm starting to have a bad taste in my mouth for them.
A
I
lot
guess
of people have for a long time.
I guess this is the question then. Are you guys going to buy any of these remakes, or not? Like, are you guys gonna buy Sleeping Dogs? Are you gonna buy?
No.
Andrew, did you buy Tomb Raider?
I didn't buy Tomb Raider. I bought The Last of Us remastered
Okay.
because I love that game. But
Also,
Game's a piece of shit.
Last of Us remastered. That's another one. Why does The Last of Us need to be remastered? Like,
because it's a masterpiece.
I think that game actually has a little bit more of a reason because it came out literally like a month before the PS4 came out. Right?
I guess it's for those Xbox owners that want to play The Last of Us. I
To
think
be
that's
honest, it's not even like it's for the people like The Last of Us. Regardless of what, as much as I like kind of joke about how it's a perfect game, it's not a perfect game, but it is one of those games that's like you need to play this. At least you need to try this out. Like
I can agree. I can actually agree with that. You should
Yeah.
try Last of Us and convince me that it's a piece of shit. No, I'm
I
kidding.
think, in my opinion, like Tomb Raider was good too. It was really but The Last of Us is something special. It's something different that I don't know. It's like an exception, but to be honest, a lot of these remasters they need to die.
Sleeping Dogs and Tomb Raider. Like, that's just a pushed update to my Steam account. Like, it's
Or when did we start doing handheld ports to consoles? When did that become a thing?
wait, handheld ports. What? That's a thing?
Tearaway.
Tearaway. It's a Vita game that's coming to PS4.
Oh,
Oh,
when you said handheld, I thought you meant
I'm not
phones.
saying again. I'm not saying that Tearaway is a bad game. Tearaway is a fantastic game, but I just like I don't.
Assassin's
why-
Creed Liberation.
True.
That's
Yeah,
another
But
one.
that at least came out like really cheaply, and it was just kind of in the middle of nowhere. And Ubisoft releases a shit ton of games. Media
True.
Molecule never releases games.
Yeah, that's true. Ubisoft has not ever released a remastered game. Liberation is actually the only one I can think of. Now that I think
Well,
about
that's
it.
only because they needed to fix it up for PC and
I'm
consoles.
I'm sure Ubisoft has released a lot of remastered games. They just probably haven't released an Assassin's Creed or a Splinter Cell.
I don't think so,
I'm
actually.
sure that they've done. They did Splinter Cell for
Did they not
3DS.
just still PS2 games like up-res?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
I
they
see.
did.
I see. Okay, yeah, Splinter.
They also
Okay,
they did Prince of Persia.
Yeah.
Really?
They've done a lot. It's just that they haven't done
I guess they're not as
games that you
frequent.
play.
God damn it.
They're logical with the remakes, I guess you could say, in comparison to Square
they're not.
Enix.
They're not. They're,
Well, in
they're,
comparison to Square Enix, though.
No, because they literally did. They did like their main trilogies as re-releases for the last gen,
Yeah.
right? So like PS3 and Xbox 360,
Okay.
right? It's just I don't know.
Maybe they rebranded it in areas that I just are not aware of. I'll just.
Well, because they re-released it for consoles, and you don't care about consoles.
That's true. Anyway, so yeah, what do you guys think about those remakes? Evan brings up a pretty good point. I mean, that hair physics though.
Get it, like, yeah. Tessellation.
Laura's
Like, the
hair
other-
though. Laura's
The other thing
hair
that
though.
pisses me off about it too is that they come up with these crazy HD remakes, and then they make me re-buy it on my PC. Right? So like, I have Tomb Raider. Why don't I just get the definitive version? Because I can run it. I could have run this if you released it when the original game came out. Like, that's not an issue for me. I'd have to pay more to get the same game on the same system.
Oh my god! Then there was friggin' Deus. Well, Deus Ex is kind of different. It wasn't.
Why is it different? There was a few things changed, and they still charged people full price for it.
No.
Yeah.
Human Revolution was 60 originally. Director's cut is 20. That
Really?
includes the DLC.
Full price?
20 full
If
price.
you don't own it, it's $20.
Oh, maybe if you don't own it, maybe it's like 30. But I know I bought it for
That's-
like $7, $8.
Yeah,
tops.
it's because you get a discount if you already own it. I can
And-
still get that discount because I own the original.
No.
Right,
Yeah,
anyways.
I think it's full price 20. But like,
Oh.
Anyways,
Yeah.
getting back to the question, are you guys annoyed with continuous reboots of games? As annoyed as I am.
I think so.
I don't think as
Go
annoyed
first.
as you are, but I am.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not as
Pretty-
annoyed as you are because you went on a full
pretty-
10-minute tirade.
Well, I did go a little bit animated for that, but I mean, it's just
Yeah. Well, no, it's like because I enjoyed The Last of Us, but like you said, I kind of want time in between these things. Like Tomb Raider Definitive Edition came out like 8 months after it originally released. Like that's like kind of ridiculous.
yeah. I mean, so The Last of Us Definitive Edition, or sorry, whatever it's called, does it have the DLC in it?
Yes, it's got
Yes.
a bunch of. It's got the single player DLC and a bunch, and I think some multiplayer stuff. I'm
Is-
not exactly sure.
Is all the DLC for it? Is The Last of Us done with DLC?
No.
I heard Naughty Dog was
See-
interested in making more. That's also
See,
another
I-
question. Yeah.
I at least think that the game should not be remastered until the game is
I
agree.
finished.
It's the complete ultimate full edition. Why would they keep? Yeah,
Unless
Yeah,
unless the remastered edition comes with a season's pass. Now that's something to.
Yeah, that's one way to work around it. Yeah.
But it's still like, but that's still just kind of why remastered, right? Like,
yeah. I don't know.
I
think it's a good
That
enough
yeah,
reason.
that's what I was thinking, and that's why I said like the only reason they remastered is for those who jumped ship from Microsoft to Sony, to and they never had the opportunity to play The Last of Us. That's honestly the only reason I can think of.
More
Anyone.
sales. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I can't think of
And-
another reason.
honestly, for me as a person who owns a PS3 and a PS4 and who bought it for PS3, it makes me annoyed because I wish I just bought it for my PS4.
Yep.
Yeah, because you'd love to have.
Don't
the
you
new
don't you get it on a
experience.
discount though? If you trade like
Yeah, but then I have to trade in.
Sony wasn't doing it, but like certain retailers like GameStop, EB Games did have a promotion, but they're like that promotion's over.
Right.
But then I also then I would have to trade in a game, and I refuse to do that.
So I
Yeah,
guess
then they'll piss all over it.
So question for you then, Evan. I guess to sort of wrap things up, because we are approaching our mark. What qualifies in this time criteria to, I guess, not piss you off for a remake? Like, how recent can a game be and still get away with this?
I don't know. I mean, like all of the 10. Is that a 10 that I see there?
Yes.
10. Okay. I don't know. I mean, like Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 were getting remade. Final Fantasy 10 was getting remade. Those ones seemed at least.
Those are PS2 games.
Yeah, like those are games that you really can't play anymore and are near impossible to get.
Hell, Resident Evil 4 got an HD remaster, and it's an actual decent one with fully.
Yeah, but these are games that you. I mean, this is kind of a bad way of defining it, but these are games that you can't find anymore, or it's very hard to find anymore.
And if you can't play them the way you can play your other games now.
Like I have to sit and I have to go and find, like if I want to play Resident Evil 4, I have to find a PS2, GameCube, or I guess a Wii, and I have to find a copy of those games. Actually, the Wii version of Resident Evil 4 was the first place where I played that game.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I actually went to a flea market. I went to a flea market to try to find Halo 2. It does not exist.
And you know what? That's the good thing about these remakes is that they're allowing people to find these old games. I mean, this is a topic that we went over a couple days ago, where a couple weeks ago, sorry, where you know, games become obsolete, and how is the next generation going to come back and play these classics? And this is the way that they can do that, where these games, like these old classic games, are being remade, but the key is they're old and they're classic.
Yeah, there needs to be some form of quality control. It's like, oh look, the next generation's already here. It's only been 8 months. Let's remake it.
And
Half-Life.
yeah, like I guess a nostalgia factor has to be there.
Black Mesa. So let's say Half-Life 2.
I don't know.
So something like I don't know what was it that just came out? Age of Mythology, the HD edition. Even though that was a lazy remake, it's still warranted one because it's like 20 years old.
Because it runs smoothly on Windows 8. Period.
What you mean is it runs on Windows 8. Period.
Because like you try running Tiberian Sun.
I did. From my original.
Everything's like ×5 like speed. It's really weird.
The viewer fixed it. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there's.
Yeah, I'm agreeing.
I don't think there's like a number or how old the game has to be. I think it's just it has to be like. I mean, Last of Us. As much as I hate that game, I do think it's something that everybody should play, and I think that game did deserve some sort of HD remake eventually, but not so soon. Like maybe in the PS5 or at the end of the PS4 or like at some point
later.
Yeah, at some point where, you know, maybe even the HD remake reminds you like, oh man, that game was actually really good. Yeah, I'd love to play that game again, right?
Because that's been half of my life since I touched it.
Yeah, that's what the new Kingdom Hearts games did to me, where it's just like, fuck yeah, I remember those games. They're awesome. Yeah, I'll play them again, totally. And it makes those games easy to play again as well, which is a big thing. Because it's, right now, Andrew, would you have any issue going back and playing The Last of Us? Yeah.
Not on PS3. Like, it looks really great on PS4, but it looked good relatively on PS3 as well. Like, I wasn't like, ugh, this thing. Like, cool.
But going back and playing Final Fantasy X on the PS2 versus playing the HD remake, there's a huge difference. Yeah. Like, there's a huge difference of like, oh man, this game, like it's that much more tolerable to play now.
They're like the cute people in Reboot.
Yeah.
On the PlayStation 2.
Yeah, and you know what, like that, I think that has a big part to do with a warranted reboot, right? Yeah. That it's easier to find now. I can show it to somebody who hasn't played it before, and they'll have an easier time playing it. And it's a classic game.
Yeah, timing is everything. Really.
Yeah.
You know,
kind of long enough for nostalgia, or at the very least, kind of like ramping up to the new sequel. Like,
yeah. That's another great example.
Is a great idea. When God of War 3 came out, God of War 1 and 2 were just PS2s, but like this is like a huge epic game. Like, remind yourself about how good it is.
Or it's also a great excuse for people to get into the game, right? Because somebody might have bought a PS3 and never played the previous games, and now they have a place where they can play and get caught up on the storyline of God of War.
The story of God of War.
Yeah, he's really angry and he kills a lot of people. They can get caught up and they can play these new games, right? So I guess I should say spoiler alert.
Good thing I wasn't paying attention to any
Sorry,
of that.
spoiler alert, Kratos is angry in God of War.
But I mean, like that, like those are reasons to make a new game, not Square Enix going, we need more money, guys. Fuck, right?
Yeah, it's it's a big problem when the old version of the game and the HD remake are both on the same shelf.
Yeah, that's actually I'd say that should be the defining point.
Yeah, that's a really good.
Bare minimum.
That's the rule of thumb. If you're going,
bare fucking minimum,
if you sorted all the games in alphabetical order in the store right now, and the old game is still on the shelf,
Last of Us?
reconsider your
Last of Us
actions.
Remastered.
Reconsider your actions.
Yeah, I don't know. And I guess it's not something that makes me mad. It's just something that should be remedied.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
I want new games for my new system. I don't want
Exactly.
to
I want
play the
new games.
games on the system that I already own.
Yeah.
Why would I buy this new system then?
Yeah, I'm hoping.
Yeah.
It's only really warranted in my opinion if they're able to help you like a system to trade in. But I mean, at the same time, it's.
But I don't know. Then I mean, I know I'm an enigma in there, but I'm not gonna trade in a game. Period. Ever. Right. Like,
what if it was a 1-to-1?
I'm not gonna trade because then I get -1 to game collection.
He's
My
gonna lose
condolences.
stat points, man.
My condolences.
Right? I don't know.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Okay. So, guys, I actually thought of an outro this time.
We should just have like a 30-second. Anybody watch Tech Syndicate? They have like a rant 30 or whatever.
Don't talk about other shows on this show.
It's just like rant 30 where I just take like 5 minutes and rant about something.
I'm pretty sure we mentioned a lot about Linus already.
No, but what Linus? We worship Linus.
Yeah. Well,
Linus
okay,
is just-
Linus is in the show. Linus is a god, and we all
should
just.
Get him on this show.
We
That's what
should
we
have
need.
we should have a segment at the end of our show though where I just like rant for 5 minutes about something.
We
Get
have
my
that
anger
every
out.
show, Evan. We have that every
We
episode,
should-
by the
we
way.
should-
It's not. It's
segment
it's not at the end of the show. It's integrated in our show.
Yeah, it's just we do things differently. We can't all be Tech Syndicate, right?
Yeah.
All right. So to our fan base, if you actually exist out there, thank you for watching. If you want to watch our previous podcasts, we have a playlist created for you. Just go there and check it out. Please subscribe. Check out our website. We have more than just our podcast on there. Andrew, you just posted something, correct?
Yeah.
Tell us about
5
that.
games you can play while you wait for Dragon Age Inquisition.
Because waiting for Dragon Inquisition for an extra month sucks dick, and you need to find another game to keep you occupied.
Because you're not going outside, apparently.
I'm not going
No,
outside.
fuck that. Lord of the Rings Shadow of Mordor is coming out. You don't need to leave.
That's true. That game.
Plus, besides, the sun burns anyway, so.
Also, Justin, if you see a unicorn, don't scare it away. Treat our viewers like unicorns. Let them know that you're the only one.
Hey, Justin, on the plus side, you actually improvised the total ending just now.
I know.
Good job.
I know, but we're still talking about making
Little,
one.
little do you know that it's actually like a text file on his computer.
He's been spending the last like 2 hours before this podcast.
Goodbye, people.
No. Not 2 hours. 10 weeks.
That's what it's led up to. All of our time for Justin to say this.
10 to
and get
15
interrupted
weeks.
by
I
us
did it,
ruining
guys. I did it.
Yo, ruined it.
But
Yeah, we
continuing
are.
talking. Okay, bye.
Spoiled.
Bye.
Farewell, and please keep watching.
As long and
Treat them like unicorns.
that.